It is Tuesday morning, time for coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Kristin, good morning.
Good morning. Tina, I only see myself. I don't see you. Is that a problem? Do you see me?
Oh my gosh, I see you. I see myself. Let's just... Kristin, do you hear me?
I can hear you and see you now. This is lovely.
Excellent, excellent. Technology is just so unpredictable sometimes. It's truly that you have to unplug it and plug it back in.
That is very true. And it does work well sometimes, even though the IT people just want us to think that we should try that first. It does really work.
It does. So, Kristin, back to school. Tomorrow is September 1st. Did your girls start already? Was yesterday their first day?
They start tomorrow. But yes, back to school. It's so crazy to think about. So we were talking a little bit about this before the show, but 7 years ago last week, Doug and I made a decision. And I guess the decision was already made, but I started staying home with our girls 7 years ago last week. And I was going to try being a stay-at-home mom. And I can't believe how fast the time has gone. It's just so amazing to think about everything that's happened in 7 years, and including us moving back to my hometown. It's just so crazy.
How old is Nora?
So Nora is 7.
So she's 7. So she was a baby when you were making this decision?
To think, Nora's 7. Yeah, she was not even 1 when we moved back to town. Yes.
And so you weren't living here when you made that decision.
Yes.
And then you moved back to Manitowoc. Yay! We are so lucky. 7 years ago.
I know.
And what do you think? Good decision?
Thank you. Oh, sorry. I gotta go. It was a lovely decision. Yeah. I mean, I know it. So the decision to move back was really about trying to get closer to one of our families, because Doug's family's out in Ohio and my family's here. And when we had 3 little girls, and we were both working full time in leadership positions. And at some point you just can't handle doing all of that. And so we said, you know what, we're going to just call a timeout here and maybe get back closer to family. Doug had an amazing opportunity for work. And so we jumped on it. And I thought, being a stay-at-home mom, I'm going to be in this forever. Some of those days were really long, but when I look back at it now, I'm so thankful that I had that time to just be home with them and goof around. And even just homeschooling in the last year, was a good reminder of all that time we get to spend with them, because soon enough, they're going to be off and running to high school like Teak is.
Yeah. He drove himself to school yesterday. What?
I know. It's so crazy. So Tina, I sent this picture to you. I took this picture on the porch of our house in Jackson, Wisconsin on their last day of daycare. And
look at how cute they are.
I know, they're so little and teeny. I just want to squish and eat on all of them. So Grace was 5 then, and Josie was 1, and Nora was not even 1 yet. They were so teeny.
You just want to snuggle them up. Look at Nora's little cheeks and the little fat chub by her wrists. I love that.
I know. And her little ear, do you ever notice how babies do that? Her ear is bent over, behind Grace's cheek there.
Aww.
When they would sleep, they'll their little ear bent over. And it was preseason Packer football, so they all have their little Packer gear on, and I can't even handle it.
And now, just for comparison's sake, so then and now.
I know. This is them at the fair last week. This was their last. They all got to pick a treat. We didn't care what it was. It was whatever. It's the fair. So Grace and Josie picked shaved ice with, pure sugar syrup on the top. And Nora picked cotton candy, because why not?
Well, because that's just classic. That is awesome. Yeah. Good morning, Chris.
Oh, Chris Cornelli, are your ears ringing this morning? We were talking about you this morning.
Oh no, yeah. I thought that I uploaded a picture and it didn't upload.
Well,
let's see if this works.
Why don't I chat while you're working on that? So
okay, awesome.
We had the pleasure, including Jason and Tina, to spend time watching Chris Cornelli, as well as a number of other business leaders and local representatives participate in the cream puff eating contest. There is the amazing Chris Cornelli face down in that cream puff. And she did, Chris, you did a fabulous job.
I think she might have been talking about the picture of the girls, but I thought she was amazing.
Yes. So, Chris, I would just need to tell you that I really believe that you came in second place. You nailed it. You were so good. So, if you want to practice at all in preparation for next year, I'd be happy to help you do that.
And the cream puffs, did you see they were like this huge?
Yes.
And you cannot use your hands in that eating contest. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I was like expecting them to like be handing cream puffs over, but no, it was like this giant one full of filling. And I love like Chris's technique was just to smash the heck out of that cream puff and get into it. And we had so much fun cheering her on. And then because she is the queen that she is, she took my little girls and they got on the tilt-a-whirl and rolled the tilt-a-whirl, I think 4 or 5 times in a row. It was amazing.
Wait, so, after the cream puff?
After the cream puff eating contest. So she had a full belly of cream puff and just went and killed it on the tilt-a-whirl then. So
that is awesome. Chris, you are my hero. I love that.
I agree.
You know, speaking of the fair, it was awesome because totally unplanned, totally unexpectedly, we ran into each other at the fair.
I know. It was so good seeing you guys. The girls actually spotted Jason walking down the path, and I'm like, go get him. Go say hi. You guys don't get to see them in person very often. So
I have to tell you, it was so cool because we were walking down that path that was in the picture, and maybe like 5 or 6 steps ahead of us was a woman who's maybe a generation older than us. And as we're walking past the tent, I noticed like some kids running and like saying something, right? And so I thought they were saying like grandma or like, you know, like running to that woman. And so I didn't really pay attention. Then I realized, oh, they're running towards us. And it was just like such a cool, fun moment when I realized who it was and what was happening.
Yeah, it was really fun. We actually ate lunch in that tent. So we elected for lunch to support one of the local organizations. I think the Shoto Conservation Club was hosting food in that tent. And so we always like to try to support some of our local friends at the fair. And yeah, they were dancing and polkaing and all kinds of fun stuff there. So it was really fun.
That's awesome. That's exactly where we ate lunch too. And we took it and sat under the tent because Lloyd Gauze and the Mystic Moods, a bunch of like crazy talented musicians from the local area, they were playing polka and other fun stuff. And it was just such a kind of a classic, good feeling county fair experience.
Right. I agree. Can you put that picture up of you and I with the girls again? So I just want to point out, like, I love all the color in this picture. I love that Jason snapped like the Ferris wheel in the background and the little air guy is his arms out. Like he's so happy to see us. And it just like embodies everything that the fair is there. The corn wagon.
Yes, the cotton candy mobile.
Yeah, the cotton candy mobile, funnel cakes. I mean, it's so fun. So it was.
And you're right. I hadn't noticed the air guy in the back. It's like he's part of our picture.
Yeah. He's like, hey guys.
And is Josie wearing a shirt that says Sugar Buzz Loading?
Yes.
That's too perfect.
It has ice cream stacked up on it. It's kind of like a fair scene with a Ferris wheel. But yes, she was like, I need that shirt clean for the fair. And I'm like, you got it, sister.
And I know I've said it before with every picture of your family that you put up, Kristin, but I have to say it again. You guys take like the perfect family picture. Look at how like perfectly organized and your beautiful smiling faces. It's awesome.
Well, it's easy when you have 3 children at 3 heights because they know their places. So they just get in the same order in all the pictures.
It's fantastic. Oh. And you guys really had fun. You went on the tilt-a-whirl. I did not see that, but I did see you guys on the bumper cars, which was super cool.
Yes, that was so much fun. I love it. The kids like, okay, so like Josie was old enough to drive her own car this year. And she was like, what? I get to drive my own car this year. She was so excited. And here I think this is Grace running the steering wheel, but Megan running the pedals. I don't know how they decided that, but I think I love it. Yeah, it was so much fun.
So I do have a little video clip. Let's try running it no idea what's going to happen to our tech when I play it, but if everything, goes to heck, we'll be right back. Here we go. I love it. There's just something about like the energy, and there's something that's you just can't repeat about like the sounds that you hear at the county fair. It's unmistakable.
Yeah. And we spent some time walking through the barns and seeing like the cows and the goats and the sheep and just all of those things. Some friends of ours showed chickens this year, and they were so excited about being able to do that. And, we talked, there was a young lady there that had 2 cows there, a full grown one and then a baby one. And just talked with so much pride about how she's raised this cow since little on, and they were both being shown, and how much that one weighed, and she let the girls pet both of them. And I just really admire all the farmers and the people that are out there showing animals. Like, it's a lot of work to do that, not just to do it every day on their own homesteads, but to haul animals to the fair and be there every day, and all that kind of stuff. And I really admire the farmers and all the people that were there showing animals and being part of it. And I know Chris mentioned every year that they purchase meat from the fair. They actually go to the auction, and I didn't even know that you could do that. And I just think, again, what an awesome way to support what's happening locally here. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't realize that there was a meat auction. By the way, Mary said she loved the sea lion show. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I also think it's super impressive that, these are live animals that require a certain level of care. And so when they take them off of their like farms or where they're normally being raised to the county fair, they still have to provide a level of care for them.
Right.
It's not like a little kid where you can say, okay, eat now, use the restroom now. We're going to go to the fair for a little while, right? Like they have to still feed them and clean them and whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of times they're sitting there a good part of the day tending to their animals or being in those barns. And I learned that Saturday night there's a very formal event, and Brooke, my friend Brooke, would know the answer now, but it's formal showmanship. So like people wear like tuxedos or full military uniforms or whatever, like it's a dress show, and it's so cool. We didn't get back out there to see it, but again, I've never heard of it before. And I'm like, man, we were going to go back out there, and then the weather didn't cooperate Saturday night for us to go back out. But again, so fun. It was so great to see people out there. I'm very happy for the people who organize our fair, because it's a lot of work. And I saw a lot of people out there spending time and spending money supporting our fair.
Yeah, it was a great way to meet the community and catch up with people. And, you mentioned chickens, and a couple of shows ago, we talked about how, for a short time in our history, we raised some chickens, and I did find a picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. It's so cute. Aww. I think he was probably 5 years old in this picture, and the chick is probably 3 weeks old maybe. And it was just cool because it was hands-on, we had to feed them and we could hold them, and
what a cool experience. I love how his little eyes are like so looking up and admiring that little baby chick. Like you can see the intensity of how he is looking at it. It's just very sweet.
And they were so soft. And then shortly after that, though, they go into like a chicken teen phase, and they're kind of like gaggly and like they're like, oh, what happened? And then when they become adults, then they're like beautiful and full feathered and stuff again. But it's funny because at first I was like, whoa, what happened to the chicken?
Right. Would you ever raise chickens again?
I loved it. Except, it was messy. I loved the fresh eggs. So I think if I had the right situation, the right setup, yeah, I wouldn't say no. Although, it requires like constant care, like every day you've got to feed them, you've got to water them, all that stuff. So right now my son can drive. I don't have any pets currently. In a way, I'm like, I've got this view of freedom that I haven't had in a long time.
You see Jason's comment?
It was hypothetical, Jason. Hypothetical.
We're just talking.
And kind of like chickens go from babies to this gangly teen. So this little cute kid is now this gangly teen. He was playing with my ring light for this show, and like,
let's see if I can recreate Teek's picture. Look, Teek, I can.
Yes. Fantastic.
I feel like I look like Michael Myers in that. I don't feel like I look good in that. Teek made it look good. I do not look good.
You are too kind. You are too kind. So what about this weekend? Do you have plans? Are you going to do, like, I think Kite Fest is happening in Two Rivers. That's always a pretty cool event. Have you had the girls out there?
We have not done that. So Doug and I are celebrating 13 years today of wedding.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you. So sometimes for Labor Day, Doug and I sneak away because the year that we got married on the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. So sometimes we sneak away. So we aren't typically in town when that happens. This weekend, we're going to tow our camper up north and spend the weekend with some friends. So we will not be in town. But have you done Kite Fest before?
Yes, and it's really pretty cool. Some of the kites are huge, and they do like trick flying, and there's all sorts of interesting presentations. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. So Mary says happy anniversary, and Jason says happy anniversary. Well, and what else is coming up then is Sputnik Fest. And I know that was always one of Teek's favorite because there's oftentimes a bunch of folks that show up dressed as Star Wars characters.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes Darth Vader will be there, or Yoda, Princess Leia.
Is Sputnik Fest the second week in September?
Right. September 11th this year.
Is it? Okay. I was going to say, I knew it was around that time. So will Teek dress up for that event, or does he just enjoy the other people who dress up?
He just enjoys the other people.
When
he was little, he would sometimes make like a lightsaber and take it with him, but
sure. We have a Darth Vader costume here. So I feel like maybe we need to take in Sputnik Fest this year in costume.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Is it usually the big cow?
Happy birthday, Mary.
Yay. Yes. She said she'll be dressed as a living statue that day. Ooh, cool.
Oh, that's very cool. Mary, is that the same statue costume that's like kind of like an angel? It almost looks like it's from Doctor Who, and it was in Melanie's movie because that was super spooky. That was like one of my favorite scenes in that movie, actually.
A lot of the performing statues are metallic. Like I've seen them in Las Vegas before and down in Florida before. So impressive, Mary. I didn't even know you did that. She's got so many tricks up her sleeve. She said it was. That's cool.
Oh, then that is so cool because it looks like she is a stone statue. Like, yeah. I've got to track down a picture. Or Mary, maybe you can send me a picture that we can show next time. It's so cool. Like if she would hold still, you would maybe believe that it was a stone statue. Mm-hmm. And then, very cool.
Right. So what else is going in town? I would imagine the Wharf for some of those places have live music. Is there live music out at Kite Fest?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Hey, viewers, if you know, let us know.
Yeah. So what else is going on? What else goes on during Sputnik Fest?
I heard that Let Me Be Frank Productions is going to be doing a reincarnation, like they've written a little show about Sputnik. So I definitely want to check that out. I think that there is music there. There's food. There's often, I've seen like some kind of like go-kart racing and
so
there's like a cake decorating contest. And I think maybe a Miss Galactic Out of This World sort of costume contest.
Miss Galactic. Oh man, I had a really great thought and now it has completely gone away. It'll come back.
Well, let's talk about this. We're talking about cool events. Let's talk about this.
So I sent this to you yesterday. I'm sure you were like, why are you sending this to me?
No, because Teek always used to love going through the car wash, and the tri-foam moment was his favorite because you got this rainbow like effect down the windows. It's pretty cool.
So Grace and I got my car washed yesterday, and the kids always love the tri-foam. Like, we went to a different car wash last week. They were mad because the tri-foam was white, not colored, and they were angry at me. And I'm like, I don't get to pick whether the tri-foam is colored or not. But anyway, one of the main reasons I sent this to you is so it gets spread on the guard. And then there's like this most amazing, like, cotton candy. Grace and I both at the same time were like, oh, it smells so good. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. And sometimes I think getting your car washed like that is like having this moment of zen, because you're not required to do anything. All this stuff is happening. You're like totally disconnected from the outside world. There's like magical rainbows happening. And then you're right. The scent of the soaps have like a really cotton candy kind of.
I know. I think people probably think we're nuts, but the other thing about that is my radio doesn't typically work in the car wash. So it is a very quiet moment in time. But yeah, Grace and I almost laughed out loud because we were both smelling this sweet smelling soap at the exact same time. And I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got to take a picture and text this to Tina. I have to see if other people have this experience in the car wash.
Parents, any parents that are watching, let us know. Like, do your kids also love the car wash experience? I don't know, like, as an adult, if I were by myself, if I would have necessarily noticed. But yeah, having a kid going through the car wash is kind of this magical experience.
Yeah. So when I was younger, the really old, they used to have cloth. Now they're like foam, but like those things, they would like come down and the ones would come on the side. We used to be deathly afraid of them.
Yes, me too. And they kind of look like monsters or like crazy spiders or something.
Yes. Yeah, it was like monsters. And I think, they use like clear garage doors now on car washes. So I think back then it was probably darker. And I can just remember being totally terrified. Like, what in the world is this thing coming at the car? Like, we hated it. And, now it's like something that's fun and smells good, and
maybe they realize it's easier for parents to get their cars washed if the kids are like, let's go to the car wash, rather than no.
Right. Or the one on Calumet Avenue has like all the lights in it and it's all bright and, techie looking. So
the Las Vegas of car washes.
Yeah. Yeah. Risa said, I always loved going through PDQ car wash as a kid. Yeah. Or I can remember PDQ was also special because there was ones where you got to get out and like walk in the tunnel and see your car come down the way and, watch, you're like, ooh, when is our car going to come through?
As a kid, it's kind of fascinating, right? Because you don't understand like the bigger picture of the world. Right. And it's something, you know what a car does typically, but all of a sudden your car is doing something completely out of the norm. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, and then my next question about car washing is, if you get a car wash like that, there's some level of blowing off that happens at the end. Do you go home and dry your car off further, or do you let it air dry?
What? I'm not really a car detail person. Like, if it's clean, cool, like dry it off with like, no.
Your response, what? Yeah. So my back window is always wet when we get done, no matter how well I plan out my timing under the blowers, it's never good. So now I've gotten in the habit. I bought this like pack of car towels from Costco, of all places. And now I come home and towel my car off. I think this is an old age thing, but now I towel my car off when I get home. So it doesn't like have spots or dirt spots yet from where it was wet.
I don't know what to say. Doesn't it already even pick up a little dirt by the time you get home?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not usually too bad, but yes.
Is it a chamois cloth?
No, it's not like, those were like where you would wring them out and they would be kind of dry again. These are more like a really soft fabric, but they're not supposed to hold dirt. So like you're not scratching. Does that make sense? They're just supposed to
right.
like pick up moisture, I think.
Interesting. Although, you know what? You have a much nicer car than I drive. So maybe if I was driving a really nice car, I would take care of it differently.
Well, thank you for saying that. I do try to take care of it. But then again, you know, you're hauling kids, and for most of the summer we had softball equipment and all. Like, if you got in my car right now, you would not think that it looked nice, because there's sweatshirts and water bottles and wrappers from food and just all the things chucked in the back seat. So
you know what I need? I need the perfect recommendation for a vehicle that is compatible with a kayak. You know what I mean? I know that you can put a rack on any kind of vehicle, but I want to be able to use it by myself, right? Like if I wake up in the morning and I want to go kayak before I go to work, I want to be able to either put it on top myself or shove it in the back. What would be a good vehicle? Like what accommodates that? Is that like a Subaru Outback? Is that like a folks that are out there? I can't be the only person that has this problem, right?
Do you want to know the exact car that I was thinking of? A Subaru Outback. Because I feel like that's in every commercial, right? Like it's meant to be the outdoor active car, which, by the way, they have really great resale value.
Oh, that's good to know.
Otherwise,
I was telling Jason I need an El Camino.
I don't even know what that looks like.
Oh, let me see if I can find a picture really quick.
This is the path of thought that I go down as I think about a kayak. To do it by yourself. Your vehicle.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's car in the front and like truck in the back.
Yeah. You definitely need one of those. You most definitely need one of those. Would you get red?
Oh, I love red. Sure.
Don't red vehicles get pulled over more often by police?
Do they?
I think I've heard that. I don't know. Somebody else tell us if that's true. What I'm thinking about in the context of a kayak is you wouldn't want a vehicle that is too tall, because if you're having to get it up by yourself, the angle of getting it on the roof could be difficult. So it needs to be a vehicle that's low enough that you could handle getting it on the roof and strapped on the roof, first of all. Or you need a vehicle where the front seat and second row fold flat.
Yes, so I could just shove it right in the back.
So you could shove it right in the back, which I feel like a lot of vehicles do that now. Maybe a minivan especially would have the length. I don't know. Because to me, an Outback might not have the length, inside.
I kind of wish that there was a car specifically marketed. Like, do you love to kayak? This car goes with your kayak. You know what I mean? Or even like sell a car that comes with a kayak.
If one of our local dealerships in town is listening, I'm pretty sure they're going to have a picture to you of this within moments.
Yes, please hit me up. I do. My current vehicle is leased, and that lease is going to be coming up within the year. So
she's on the market, folks. The other thing I thought about is I have seen probably more with canoes than kayaks, but like these mini trailers. So you could also go like Outback crossover, small SUV with a hitch. And then trailering it would be very easy because it'd be much lower to the ground. So you could get it in and out fairly easy as well.
Yeah. I like that idea too. I just want to be able to do it independently so I don't always have to pester Jason.
Yeah. Well, I think you have lots of options. I think I feel like we need to Google search. If you Google search cars for kayaks, I'm pretty sure an Outback is going to show up on that list.
I will check it out right after this.
Wrong, but just saying.
All right, I've got one more question before we have to wrap it up today.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what is on this cookie sheet?
Yes, I know that well. Those are kolaches.
Ding,
and
ding,
it appears that those are cherry kolaches. And if I had to guess, it's either poppy seed or prune.
Yeah, poppy seed. Wow, you are good. You're good.
I have family that descends from Eastern Europe. We have a family recipe for kolaches, and I know them well.
Kristin, I knew I liked you.
Aw.
These are made, my mom made these. Yeah, we also have that bohemian check
Yes.
in our bloodline. So, and I love them. Oh, the cherry are my favorite. I also love the poppy seed.
Yeah. So I will look back. We actually did this. We did a unit on kolaches for our homeschool group when we were starting Europe last year, and the kids came to my house and made them with my mom. But we make cheese ones by
Oh
themselves,
yeah.
which is very traditional. And then we will do cheese with raspberry or cheese with cherry. And then
Ooh.
my girls love lemon, so we've done lemon. And then apple sometimes. And then also just because they're kids, they like Nutella and cheese. So,
Yes,
but
I can see
yes,
that.
those look beautiful. I love the golden color on them. That's how you know they're well baked. They've got a nice, so in my opinion, the filling to kolache like the dough ratio is very important so that when you bite into it, it's not just dough, you get some of the filling. So like how big the circle is really important, but they look beautiful.
Thanks. So my mom made those. Now I haven't seen her make them. She makes them often. I haven't watched her make them, but when I was a kid, I remember she used to have like the ball of dough all like laid out on the cookie sheet, and then she would take a glass and go through to make the little divot where the filling goes.
Yeah, we actually just watched a Triple D episode where there's a place where they just do sweet and savory kolaches, and that's pretty much all they do. And they had I'm trying to see if I don't have anything here, but imagine like something like this big around, and then like this long, and it was a marble like punch, and so they use that they would line them up on a tray and use that to punch the middles. I say punch, but that's not really it is because you're pressing, because you don't want a hole. But they would press them all, and then she would fill them all. She could do it in like under a minute. She could do like a whole sheet tray in under a minute.
Oh, that's amazing. So did she have the filling in kind of like a frosting bag or something?
Yes, they had the fillings, and they were all homemade fillings from this place. But yeah, they were in big pastry bags, so she could just pipe them in.
Yum. Yum. Well, viewers, if you are familiar with kolaches and if you have a favorite filling, we would love to hear about it.
Yes. Does your mom spoon the filling in?
I think so.
Yeah, that's how we have done it when we've made them in the past.
And I love it because like with the cherry, you can see like she was pretty careful about making sure there was at least 4,
Yes.
in the kolache, so that you get one with each bite.
That's right. That's right. Oh, they're just so good. I love how yeasty that dough is too. It's just so delicious. It's time consuming, but worth the reward.
Yeah, that's why I'm so thankful every time she makes them and shares them.
Mhm.
When somebody puts that much time and effort into it and you get to be like the recipient of that, it's pretty special.
Right. I can remember making them as a kid a lot with my grandma on my mom's side. We made them a lot with her. And then for a long time, we really didn't make them, and then started making them again. Grace is just very interested in baking, so my mom has started doing them with her again. And then when we had the chance to do them with the homeschool group, then I really got to help participate. And it's fun to like be able to carry that tradition on too. Like those are some of those recipes like sauerkraut and pork dumplings and things like that are so unique to that region. And if you don't keep making them, the tradition of it dies off.
Right. So, cool. I'm so glad that you guys know what that is too.
Yes.
Awesome.
They're delicious. How exciting.
Well, Chris commented it, and I put it up, but I'll put it back up again. She said they look delicious. And so I just wonder how they compare to the cream puff.
Ooh. That's a very good question.
Fortunately, when we eat the kolaches, we can use our hands. We don't have to do it hands-free.
Although that might be something for the fair next year, a kolache eating contest.
You might be onto something.
Yeah. I can remember as a kid, I don't know about you, Tina, but they were often at parties, typically at funerals. As a child, walking up, thinking the filling was chocolate, and almost always getting prunes.
It was never chocolate. It was always prune.
Or poppy seed. And I love poppy seed as an adult, but most of the time in my family, it was prune. And I would be like, oh, this is not, I wanted the chocolate.
The disappointment is real. And especially in a situation like that, where your brain is already thinking chocolate and you go for the bite thinking it's chocolate and it's prune, that's so disappointing. Prune by itself, if you know it's prune, it's great, right? But it's that mix up.
That is very true. There you go, Chris. I agree. That whipped cream is something. So, well,
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, you guys, we have spent so much time together this morning. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been so much fun. Kristin, happy anniversary. And looking forward to next week already so that we can catch up with everyone again. Mary, if you're still watching and you get a chance, send us that picture of your costume. We'd love to see that. And Chris, yes, a little whipped cream on a kolache would be great. We are going to leave you with that image. Bye, everyone. Bye, Kristin.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.